If your windows are dirty, dusty, and full of cobwebs, I'm going to show you how to clean your windows with confidence. Step 1 is to remove the window screens. Just make sure you mark them somehow so you remember which windows they belong to. Here's how mine come out. I have these little tabs right here, and I get a little screwdriver, and I just simply pop that up a little bit. I could pop it up on both sides and then just pull it directly out. I wish there was a universal way to take them out. The truth is, every window is designed a little bit differently. Some screens pop out from the inside, others from the outside. Once you have all the screens out, rinse the screens with a garden hose to knock off any of the loose dust. Then dip you a soft brush into a bucket of warm soapy water and gently scrub both sides of the screens. Pay extra attention to the edges where the dirt builds up. When you're finished, rinse them thoroughly with your garden hose and let the screens dry in the sun while you move on to clean the windows. Step 2 is to clean your window tracks. If you leave these dirty, it'll ruin all of the hard work you put in. Start by loosening up the debris with a small paintbrush or toothbrush. Really work it into the corners where the grit likes to collect. Next, vacuum the track with a brush attachment to remove the loosened dirt. Now spray the track with an all-purpose cleaner. This is just a cheap DIY mix. It's 1 cup of vinegar, 1 cup of water, and a tablespoon of Dawn dish soap. Wipe it clean with a microfiber cloth, making sure you get into all the grooves. Now that you've cleaned your screens and your tracks here, it's time to clean the outside glass. The first thing you want to do is to knock down all the cobwebs with a cobweb remover. It just screws right in and it attaches to this extension pole that I'm using. Next, dip your scrubber into a bucket of soapy water. This is just a squirt of Dawn dish soap in this bucket. Squeeze out the excess and apply it evenly across the window. Work in sections so the cleaner doesn't dry before you squeegee. Scrub gently, focusing on the fingerprints, the smudges, or any sticky spots. For tough residue like bird droppings, keep the area wet and use a razor blade at a shallow angle. Just avoid using this razor blade on tempered or coated glass. And also make sure the blade is brand spanking new and not old and dull. Old and dull blades will in fact scratch glass, so you want to make sure it's a brand new blade. Once you got everything good and scrubbed, it's time to flip it around and use the magic tool, which is the squeegee. There's a lot of ways to do this. I like to use what's called the 𝗥𝗢𝗘𝗢 technique. Allow me to demonstrate. Put your finger inside of a microfiber towel, and you're gonna do a backward 7 from the top right corner of the window to the bottom left corner. What this is gonna do is give your squeegee a dry place to grab onto. Pull the squeegee straight down in one smooth stroke, and after each stroke, dry the squeegee with a clean towel. Then just repeat the process, slightly overlapping your last stroke so no water lines are left behind. Continue across the pane until you've covered the whole window. Finally, detail the edges and corners with a clean microfiber cloth to remove any drippings. It takes a little practice, but once you get the hang of the squeegee, you'll never go back to paper towels again. It cleans faster, works more effective, and leaves no streaks. A quick pro tip is when you're cleaning your windows, never clean them in direct sunlight because you run the risk of the sun drying the soapy water on the glass too fast and leaving it really streaky, and then you'll just have to redo them. So you want to be real intentional about where the sun is and try to clean them in the shade or just clean them on a cloudy day. Also, along the way, as your water gets really dirty, be sure to be changing it out for fresh buckets of soapy water. If your windows are up really high and you're having a hard time reaching them, you can do what I've done, which is get you a little ladder or a stepping stool, or you can just extend this extension pole right here. You can put your cobweb duster, you can put this little scrubber squeegee on the same pole because they use the same universal threading system. So as you can see, I can unscrew it and I can get up. I'm standing way back here, and so I can go even higher and higher to a second-story window if I need to. Along the way, if you still see some of those chalky white dots and drip trails that won't wipe off, that's mineral buildup from hard water. And the only way to get that off is you have to give the window a good acid wash. Simply apply Barkeeper's Friend More Spray. You can use the liquid paste also if you prefer, and let it sit for 1 minute to dwell. Then come through and buff the glass with a brand new piece of Quad Zero steel wool. Make sure it's Quad Zero and not 2 zeros or 3 zeros, because anything above Quad Zero is more abrasive and it will scratch the glass. After that, simply repeat the washing process with your soapy water and your squeegee. To clean the inside of the glass is the exact same process. You just have to take an extra added step of protection, and that's laying a big towel here across the window sill to soak up any liquids that might want to fall and drip as you're cleaning it. And also, as you're doing this, just try to keep your liquids to a minimal. I call it moisture discipline. You don't want to flood the window pane because the excess water can wick into the wood and between the storm panels. So just be disciplined about how much water you're using here. And lastly, by now your screens should be dry. Line them back up with the frame, making sure the tabs or the springs are oriented correctly, and gently pop them back into place. Once again, take your time, don't force it, because window screens can bend really easy. And that's it, my friends. That is the best way to clean your windows, tracks, and screens for that streak-free professional result. If you liked the video, give it a big Clean with Confidence thumbs up. It really helps me out. And until next time, I will see y'all in the next video.